Greetings. My name is Aidan Kearney. I'm a parent of 2 children who's concerned that we're actually debating turning into our schools into virtual leper colonies by putting muzzles on 5-year-olds. The grossest thing that I heard at the hearing on last Wednesday night was the othering of one of the emailers when she said that she wanted to attend the meeting, but there would be too many maskless, unvaccinated people in attendance. The people sitting in this crowd behind me tonight without masks on are members of our community, being openly treated like disease-infested parasites for our beliefs that our children should not be masked. We are blamed for being the sole cause of our country's problems and a threat to other people's children. This sort of dehumanization is how every authoritarian, genocidal regime in world history has always begun. Ask the Chinese, Russian, or Cuban landowners who were blamed by the communist revolutionaries, or the Japanese Americans who were interned because they made white Americans feel unsafe, or the Tutsis in Rwanda who were blamed by the Hutu majority for being cockroaches that caused the problems in their country leading to their massacre. All of these began with the kind of language I heard from emailers at the last meeting, and quite frankly, some of the language I just heard from school committee members about being afraid of people in the audience. We don't bite, I promise. Step 1 is always to present a minority of the population as a threat to the health and survival of the rest of the population. At the July school committee meeting, 1 member of the school committee wore a mask. 3 weeks later, 12 of you did. And why? Because cases were up in Florida? Well, this isn't Florida. We're averaging over 1,000 new COVID cases a day in Massachusetts, but under 5 deaths. Could that possibly be because Massachusetts has one of the highest vaccination rates in the country? Maybe, just maybe, your vaccine actually works and can help you survive if you catch the virus. I have more good news. If you're living in one of the most vaccinated communities on planet Earth. Over 80% of Holden residents are completely vaccinated, including 95% of kids aged 16 to 19. And I have great news for kids under 12. None of them have died in Massachusetts from COVID. Exactly 0. And yet all I hear from elected leaders is fear-mongering about dead children. It's gross, irresponsible, and reckless. Do you have any idea the psychological damage you're doing to kids, or do you just not care? You're willing to smother their faces in disgusting, bacteria-ridden cloth masks that they wear for 7 hours in the classrooms in order to protect them from a virus that has not killed one of them. I'm sick and tired of hearing how resilient our children are as an excuse to continue to abuse them, and that is exactly what masking is. Child abuse. Just because your child is too polite and well-mannered to tell their teacher that they don't want to wear the mask because they can't breathe or communicate doesn't mean that they're not being abused. My daughter shouldn't have to be quote-unquote resilient so that a bunch of vaccinated adults suffering from hypochondria playing Simon Says with Dr. Fauci can feel more safe. Thank you, and do the right thing.